Hi, I'm Stevie Crevetto, Director of Public Information. We're excited to be here sharing some information on the Early Childhood Community Network. I'll be joined by several guests who are here to share information about a multitude of things related to the Early Childhood Community Network. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me. We're excited to be able to really get the word out and help the community understand the resources that are available through the Early Childhood Community Network. So if you don't mind, just take a minute and go ahead and introduce yourselves and let us know what your role is with the school system.
Sure, it's my pleasure. My name is Stephanie Dunmouse. Currently, I am the Ready Start Program Director underneath the lead agency for St. Charles Parish Public Schools.
My name is Adrienne Narcisse, and I'm the Center Director of Life Church Academy, formerly known as Boutique Christian Academy.
Great, thank you so much, ladies. First, let's just really start about what is the mission of the St. Charles Parish Early Childhood Community Network, and can you tell me kind of how it started and how is it related to any type of Louisiana Department of Education requirements?
Okay, so the St. Charles Parish Community Network is actually a part of the lead agency for St. Charles Parish, which is under the guidance and facilitation of Dr. Tamanika Odinga. It actually has two components to it. The lead agency is comprised of the community network for one, and then the Ready Start network is a separate component of it. Right now, the community network and the Ready Start, they're both intertwined into one vision. And that vision is to ensure that children birth through 4 years of age enter kindergarten ready. And so the network itself is comprised of 17 community partners and school partners. There are 9 community child care partners. We have Life Church Academy, formerly known as Boutique Christian Academy, Children's Book of Knowledge, 4 Stars Child Care Facility, Full of Love Child Care, Kids Academy, Kids at Work of Destrehan, Mimi's Little Schoolhouse, Small World Daycare and Learning Center, and We're All In Learning Center. Our school sites, our school partner sites are, there are 2 Head Start programs, George Washington Carver Early Learning Center and the East Bank Head Start program. And we also have our 6 elementary schools which house preschool classrooms, as well as special education services for children 3 to 4 years of age. Under that same umbrella as the lead agency is the Ready Start Network, which kind of focuses more on the community and the active supportive coalition members. Like we have United Way, we have Catholic Charities. We are also comprised of a number of grassroots. We have government officials that's a part of it. We have school board members that are part of it. And their main role is kind of like ambassadors, which they're comprised of our advisory council and our task group. Now, some of the expectations and the requirements that the state have for the lead agency is to make sure that we have a unified application, also that we have a unified approved curriculum, and that we also have a unified assessment in which we assess the children's strengths and their challenges. In addition to that, just to make sure that we ensure that all classrooms are observed both in the spring and in the fall to ensure that high quality adult and child interactions.
So truly a collaboration among—
Yes, truly collaborative relationship.
Yes, a number of different partnerships, and
Yes.
you mentioned those groups that are involved, and then you kind of shared about that unified application process. So
Yes.
let's talk about that a little bit more, because I know a lot of families in the community are becoming more familiar with the application process,
Yes.
but over the last few years that has evolved. So if you can just share some information about that coordinated enrollment application and what that process is for those who are interested in potentially enrolling their children in the birth to 4-year programs, whether with the school system or another partner agency.
Okay, so we do have one unified application that lists all of our child care partners and our school sites. They're all on this one application. And the parents can get that application in one of two ways. They can actually go to one of the school or the participating sites and pick up a paper application. We also have it online, and they can access that by going on the school board website. We're listed under services, and under services you will find there is a unified application both in English and in Spanish. And you can do it online there or download it and fill it out and bring it to one of the school sites if you choose to. And the way it works is you fill out all the information for the family, and then you have a choice. It asks you to actually list your first, second, and third choice. So if your first choice doesn't have any spots available, you will automatically be sent to your second choice, and so forth and so on. It's an opportunity for the parents to have an opportunity to have choices of where they want their child to attend. So.
Great, and I know in addition to that application being ready and available on the website, as well as in some of the different centers, there is an annual outreach event that is usually held by the lead agency and a lot of participating partners in that as well. So if you can kind of just share with us, Ms. Narcisse, maybe what happens typically at that annual enrollment outreach event, and if there's anything in particular that you would like families in the community to know in the future if they're interested in attending one of those events.
Sure. At the outreach event, which is normally held in the month of April, we have parents to come out, and we have all the centers that was Ms. Stephanie named out, the child care centers available with tables, and we have all of our information brochures. We have gifts for the children, coloring books, candies, everything to give them, but the information for parents to see what our centers is all about. And what's so important is that we work together. We are truly unified, because if one center don't serve infants, they say, well, go to this center, the next center. They're the one, they start with infants. So it's so beautiful how we come together and work together and support one another.
Absolutely, and I know it's really a place and an opportunity, like you said, where everyone is together in one place and they can go from different partner agencies and different centers. And then in addition, I don't know, Ms. Dunmiles, if there's anything you'd like to add. I believe there's assistance available to actually complete the application on site at that annual outreach event. Yes,
each center, the representatives, typically it's the center director, sometimes it's a staff member. They can assist the parents. We have representation from the lead agency there. We also have a Spanish interpreter that's there for our English as a second language parents and families. So yes, we do have the assistance there for any parent that needs it.
Great. I know we'll be looking forward to the next event coming up for the annual outreach enrollment event, and we're going to hear a little bit more coming up from some of the folks that are also involved with the programs and bring in some different perspectives so we can share some more information. So thank you both very much.
Thank you.
For more information on the Early Childhood Lead Agency, contact Dr. Tamanika Odinga or Mrs. Stephanie Dunmiles at St. Charles Parish Public Schools Central Office by calling 985-785-3173 or 985-785-7221. Learn more about the performance of the St. Charles Parish Early Childhood programs by viewing the statewide interactive online tool at Louisiana School Finder at www.louisianabelieves.com/measuring-results/school and center performance.
We just learned a little bit about the annual enrollment outreach event and the coordinated application, and I'm joined by two new guests who are here to share some additional information. And I'd just like you to please go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about who you're representing or what your role is in the school system.
Hi, I'm Brandy Cortez, and I have 4 children in the St. Charles Parish School System. All 4 have been through the early childhood education programs.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Cortez.
Hi, my name is Josefina Campbell. I'm a former Spanish and ESL teacher, and now I work for St. Charles Parish Public Schools as a Spanish interpreter. I help parents in different from enrollments to parent-teacher conferences and the different issues that they may need to be understood. And that's exactly what I do.
I know you've worn many hats, Ms. Campbell, in the school system over the years. So let's just talk a little bit about what do you see as the greatest support and needs of families who speak a second language as they really attempt to complete the enrollment process and the application process and those documents that are needed.
When families come to and they're ready to enroll their children in school, sometimes their applications are translated and they're giving in Spanish. But sometimes that's not enough for parents. Parents sometimes they need somebody to kind of help them to understand better the questions, and sometimes may be limited in what they in their language, in their own language. So it's good to have somebody to help them, and not just during enrollment time, but then through the year. Through the year, they have parent-teacher conferences. They have special trips or special things that they have to sign to let the kids be part of it. And they need to know where to who they can call to contact them, how they can, if they have questions, who to call, and how to be sure that they understand and they are in agreement with whatever the schools as required of them.
I know we really want to make sure that anybody who's interested, in enrolling in any of the early childhood programs really has the resources and the information that they need to go ahead and complete that application and all the required documentation, because we know how important the emphasis is on early childhood and making sure that students in our parish are ready for kindergarten. And there's nobody better to speak to that than Ms. Cortez, who is a parent of several children who have been through the program. So if you don't mind just sharing with us as a parent, what do you think and what have you seen are the biggest benefits of early childhood education, and really just speak to your experience of having your children in early programs in St. Charles Parish.
So for me, the benefits of early education are very important, and I think it's the most important to our youngest learners. And I always go back to a study that I read that says 90% of a child's brain develops before they're 5. But you don't need statistics to realize that once you get them into early learning programs, you'll see it for yourself. This means that, before kindergarten is where they really get all the information that they need. And this is academically developing, socially, emotionally, mentally, all of this. And it's really shown me that it helps them develop their confidence as well, which is very important to me for my kids. I want them to be proud of themselves. I want them to be able to go out there and say, hey world, this is me. And also for me, it was a benefit because as a working parent, it gave me the ability to certainly work productively and also be able to give my family economic stability, and that was important.
Absolutely, especially in the times that we're in, we kind of talk about educating that whole child, and it is such a big transition for students to leave the home or leave the caretaker and then really transition into a full day schedule, so to say. So really these programs give the residents and our students the opportunity to really get adjusted as well as prepared for kindergarten. So Ms. Cortez, as as a parent, what has been your experience, if you can speak to that experience piece about having your children enrolled in early learning programs in St. Charles Parish?
So all of my kids have been enrolled in the early learning program, and it's been a phenomenal experience each time. Of course, it's hard letting go, especially with my oldest and my youngest, because my oldest, it's like you're first and you don't know what to expect. And my youngest was so old when he went, but it didn't take me long to realize that I'd really made the right decision. It helped my children build such a strong foundation in those things that I mentioned earlier, not only academics, but mental, social, all of these. It helped them interact with their peers and others, and this was something that I couldn't provide at home. They interact with their brothers and sisters, but not people outside of the home. And I feel that they were extremely prepared for kindergarten. Early learning provided them something that was above and beyond what they needed, and I was really comfortable with the fact knowing that they were going to go to kindergarten, and I was comfortable with them being able to tackle that next step in their lives and being prepared for that. And honestly, we practice in our home that everybody is unique and special in their own ways, and we all have different cultures, and we all have different ethnicities, and we are all very special, like I said. And that was something I didn't want them just to hear at home, but I wanted them to experience that in a place that was of importance outside of the home as well. And I feel like the early learning program gave us that gift.
And I can imagine no better feeling as a parent.
Absolutely.
Knowing that your children are safe and that they're prepared for what you mentioned, a big transition into that kindergarten year. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Great, thank you both for sharing this information, and we'll wrap up with some information about from one of our center directors, who's going to share some hopes and dreams that she has moving forward, as well as we'll hear from one of our school administrators who will really just kind of talk about that transition piece that I mentioned a little bit earlier.
For more information on the Early Childhood Lead Agency, contact Dr. Tamanika Odinga or Mrs. Stephanie Dunmiles at St. Charles Parish Public Schools Central Office by calling 985-785-3173 or 985-785-7221. Learn more about the performance of the St. Charles Parish Early Childhood programs by viewing the statewide interactive online tool at Louisiana School Finder at www.louisianabelieves.com/measuring results/school and center performance.
We're joined again by Ms. Narcisse, and I'd like to welcome Ms. Nasser, who's here to really just share some firsthand insight from being a school administrator. So if you could just tell us where you work, introduce yourself, and then really just speak to that experience of being a school administrator and then also as a parent.
I'm Antoinette Nasser. I am one of the assistant principals at St. Rose Elementary, and I do work directly with our pre-K staff and students. And earlier we were talking about that transition. And coming from home environments into the school directly into kindergarten can be challenging for several of our students and sometimes a struggle. And so we are noticing that our students coming from Head Start or our on-campus pre-K sites or other community sites, they are coming more prepared, and not just academically with those reading and math skills in place, but also socially and emotionally. And that's something we spoke to earlier as well. And so the sooner we get them in, the sooner we can start to close those gaps and get them more prepared and ready for that kindergarten and school experience. And I have had the unique opportunity of seeing this not just as an administrator over pre-K, but also as a parent. And to see my own child really confident and feeling secure and just ready for kindergarten, it's helped me a lot, just ease my own worries at times. And if that's something I would advocate for my own children, then I want that for other families as well.
Great, and we've seen such an emphasis over the past few years really focused on early childhood education and the importance of it, and it's really great to be able to have people like you who share the experience of seeing the benefits as an educator, but then also being able to see the benefits as a parent. And Ms. Narcisse, if you don't mind just kind of sharing with us, as Center Director of Life Church Academy, really just what are your hopes and your dreams for your center, and what do you see other partner agencies as far as their hopes and dreams and what the network has really provided for you all?
As the Center Director of Life Church Academy, formerly known as Boutique Christian Academy, BCA, my hopes and dreams is to continue to go forward in serving the community by providing a safe place for parents to bring their kids to be loved, nurtured, and educated. To always encourage everyone by letting them know it doesn't matter what you may go through, like Hurricane Ida. Keep on praying, stay positive, and push your way through. My hopes and dreams is to daily stay in compliance with the Department of Education. I pause to say, I greatly appreciate our network leaders, who is always there for us. My hope and dreams as partnering centers is that we continue to follow their lead, their vision, to love, to learn, to continue to learn, and to lead in excellency. Staying connected and focused always on the purpose, and that's to daily prepare our children for kindergarten readiness. Not to worry about quantity, but the quality of service we are providing.
And speaking of hopes and dreams, I really can't help but think about it's really about the hopes and dreams of our students and our children in their future, and making sure that they're prepared and equipped to really enter into their school age years, as well as whatever they may choose to pursue once they graduate. So again, thank you all so much for sharing this information. And there is more information available on the district's website. Under the Services tab, you can find, under the Early Childhood Community Network, the enrollment application, as well as the outreach event information, in addition to our centers and our partners with their contact information. And again, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.